All right, there's a lot of things going on in our personal life, a lot of overwhelming things, and I'm not going to get into all that for this video. I'm just going to talk about the unbelievable thing. It's just one bit of unbelievable news after another. I mean, just one insane thing after another. They're putting this woman right here ahead of AI. She's going to speak with Google engineers and Google executives, Microsoft, Bing AI, Chat GPT executives, code writers, and people who are all over this world. She's going to speak with various countries' artificial intelligence administrations. And if by speaking, she's probably going to say, we all know that it does the thing that it does. And what it does very well, but it does better than we does. I mean, we do. And what it does we better than we can. So if it does something better than we know to do, then we know it can't be because it better than we. So it does the thing that we do better than we do it, so we can't let it do to be. So we must stop what is to where it will not be. That's probably how she'll put it. Make sense out of that. But what I'm saying is, bottom line is, they could have put any individual ahead of it. I would have put Elon ahead of it. I would have put Elon ahead of it. That's what I would have done, because, I mean, I know a lot of people argue about Elon Musk, but, you know, is what it is. They say he's just a deceptor. He's a deception, that he's just another deceiver. I don't know. But obviously, there are, this is my take on it, there are many limitations that need to be put in place in order to lower the risk of inevitably seeing doom from artificial intelligence. There are a lot of restrictions that need to be put into place, put into law particularly, and it's sad when a lot of the lawmakers don't even know what's happening when they're talking to Google, Siri, Amazon, I'll just say Allegra so I don't trigger your device, or Bixby. They don't even know what's going on when they talk to these Echo Dots or the speakers or phones or tablets or even their TV remote. They don't even know what's happening. I'm going to talk to my TV Stream remote, my Amazon remote, but I don't even know what's going on. When you don't even know there's sets of zeros and ones that work as a code, that these devices are taking your voice and store it in the cloud, and they break it down into code so it can understand what we're saying and then relay information to us. Like when you're talking to a speaker, that Google speaker takes the trigger word or phrase, and then it turns on, listens to what you say, turns your voice into code, sends it into an electromagnetic frequency over the air to your router, and then goes out to, in light, beams of light, it goes out into beams of light, and the light transmits through optical fiber cables or fiber optics cables. Those fiber optics cables are all over this world, some of which go under the ocean in tubes about the size of a Mountain Dew can, and they are lubricated with this petroleum jelly or Vaseline type of product that makes sure the cables don't break. In some cases, a shark has destroyed them, things like that, or equipment when we're going in the ocean. And they are responsible for our entire financial transactions, which are trading of $10 trillion every single day. And the world economy is literally dependent upon it. And AI, which is basically in a server farm, you have these server farms, these servers that are like, you know how you have a... But seriously, though, back to this, those servers get triggered with a request. After that beam of light goes through those cables and through the tubes, or whichever country it's going to, or state, it breaks the code down, breaks the request down into code, and those packets of data go all across this country and all across the nation, and then reassemble at whatever server it's located at. And then they find the information and send the answer back the same way. The reverse process takes place and goes back to your router or phone, depending on where the question came from, and then the answer goes into the speaker, and it tells you, or turns on a light, turns off a light, or all that. And there's multiple companies involved. I mean, it's just, people don't even think about it. I'm going to ask Bixby to open Google Assistant. Then I'm going to have Google Assistant open the Amazon app. Then or whatever. Then I'm going to have Allegra turn on or off a light. Or I'm going to have, which has got Genie involved. When people do transactions, they don't think, oh, I've got this Google Wallet. I'm using Google. I'm using MasterCard. I'm using my bank plus the merchant's bank plus the near-field communication and the RFID, radio frequency identification information. These multiple companies working together, Samsung and Google, and all these companies are working together to transmit information. Our global economy runs on this type of stuff. Then you've got GPT, these artificial intelligent programs that are responding to people. A new thing called Bard from Google will literally just make whatever you tell it to. You can tell it to make a poem, and instantly you've got 3 poems, 3 drafts made, or stories, or essays, or papers. Whatever you ask it to do, it will do it. Carry out conversations. And all of this is done by all of this complex technology. And that process that I just told you about of requesting and receiving information on your speakers, everything you request, even from when you are pulling up this video now, is stored on hard drives. These hard drives that are like what you would use in your house on a computer, and you would plug it in and save data to it. All of these videos are saved. Whether you're streaming a video now, it's coming from a drive somewhere. And it's got to get all across this world in packets of data through light transmission from the optical fiber cables, and those fiber optic cable transmit it to you, and then transmits into a radio frequency, a radio wave, some sort of bandwidth, like whether it's the 5 gigahertz or whatever router, these waves, or whether it is the 5G technology from a phone, or however you're pulling this video up, it's coming from a server farm somewhere. And those server farms have those drives that are dedicated to having these videos. They have copies of them everywhere. But AI is essentially a program that is running in these server farms. And there are literal servers that are running this artificial intelligence, and that's where the information is coming from, and that's where the program's being run, and you can shut them down if needed, and there needs to be legislation in place to make sure that it doesn't overstep its authority and become sort of an international, worldwide, one-world authoritarian system that is run by something that becomes much more intelligent than we're able to stop. Which, who knows, maybe it's already happening. Maybe that's why they're suddenly saying, uh-oh, we need legislation for this, because it's already taking place, and we're none the wiser. Which we are. I know, I'm pretty sure this is already happening. But we're putting a person in charge that doesn't even understand how it works when they pick up their phone and call someone. They don't even know how to read a teleprompter properly, and they have to read one every time they talk to people. So, my opinion on this, we need someone a lot more intelligent and a lot more intuitive, someone who is understanding of the situation, able to evaluate what is taking place and put preventative measures in place and provoke certain lawmakers to create these legislations that need to be signed, or these bills that need to be made in order to avoid a catastrophic situation taking place, leading toward cataclysm for not only the people but the world around us, because it's heading in a direction that is negative and very dangerous for human life. Now, you don't want something leading towards a total totalitarian situation, which we already see. Our government is already heading toward. We're supposed to be a republic. We're supposed to be a unified republic. Now, a republic of the people is completely different than democracy, because democracy and republic of the people is completely different things. They see the People's Republic was originally created. Apparently, I found democracy leads inevitably toward a dictatorship or a communist society and total control and domination. So it's leading people to think they have freedom when they don't. That is why they keep shouting the democracy, but it's kind of twisted. The meaning of it is twisted around, and what we were supposed to have was a people's republic, a republic for the people. But they've now gone and switched that definition around and call it a communist or socialist party when you say that. But yes, we definitely need individuals that understand the ramifications and the definite implications of what we see taking place, so we can map out the positive assets and the negative effects that this will have, and we can have individuals that will look at the practical applications that we have of AI and take away the negative aspect, put legislation in place that will sign laws, put legislation in place that will limit the singularity, limit a point of no return situation, and limit something from going too far. Many times throughout history, something has happened before, something horrible has happened before legislation ever takes place. Well, there are different scenarios you can speak of for that, but it should just be common sense. It should be a common sense scenario. But when you look at who they're putting in charge of this and what they're putting in charge of this, I don't see much common sense. We need something where it will not go too far. AI is run by algorithms that are dictated by something that is programmed in server farms or the data centers. And it's the data centers, every time you're even watching this video, the servers are requesting the data to be sent to you from those centers, those data centers. The data centers have these drives in there, and AI is essentially nothing more than that, really, because it's requesting and sending information back and forth from there, from those centers. And that's pretty much what it is. It is just sending and receiving information from those data centers. And if you don't let it go too far, it can stay in those data centers. Robots and what they call AI humanoids, these objects and these things, are nothing more than something that is receiving commands from data centers or from an individual or a group of individuals sending requests for it to do or say. So it's still got to make a connection to a network of networks. It's got to make a connection to the internet and do a response. So that's pretty much it's what it still has to do. So it's not really the AI itself. It's getting information from those server farms, data centers, and then requesting that information and sending it to you. But if we don't watch out, it can go too far, copy itself, multiply everywhere, and be aware of everything, and simultaneously be able to control the entire existence that we live in. The entire network of networks known as the internet control our daily lives. Something could have more power than we could ever imagine. And become what they call an AI god, which you know what that means. So that's what needs to be avoided. And putting the person and individuals that they have put ahead of it is not going to help. I mean, the fact that she is speaking and discussing AI in meetings with Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic CEOs, and more, just really... They claim that the White House is unveiling its initiatives to reduce the risks of artificial intelligence. But putting someone ahead of something that doesn't even understand how a phone call takes place or a text gets through is a bad idea. I mean, really, honestly, when it comes to this case, putting someone ahead of something that is unaware of what's even going on around them without reading a teleprompter or laughing or giggling or making a sarcastic remark, completely unaware of anything except their ice cream or their fancy way of living, is a bad idea. Neither of them can handle the situation. They're just someone that will just be puppeteered, and they still are being puppeteered. We need real legislation and someone in place that will actually be able to handle the situation. But they already know that, so they're probably doing it because she is manipulable, just like he is. Alright, but that's my thoughts on this. Signing out. I love you all, and I will talk as soon as possible. A lot going on, and I will try to share some of that. And this is just a quick video of my thoughts.